The most profitable way to make money long-term in a location-independent business is something called back end. I will explain what that means. Back end sales are sales that you receive from customers or clients who have already bought something from you at a smaller price point. So when you sell, let's say you have an online business, you sell a widget, doesn't matter what it is, okay? Hopefully it is a information service or extremely high margin product, if you follow the Alpha 2.0 business models that I teach here at Sovereign CEO. Let's say you sell a thing and you do advertising or marketing or whatever in order to sell that thing, and then you get a new customer or client. Depends what you're selling. If you're consulting, it's a client. Let's call them a customer. It could be a client in your business. It's fine. Synonymous. You get a new customer, they buy that thing. Back end means once you have that customer, you give that customer more information about how to solve their problem, people in their niche that you can help them with, and something else that they can purchase. Ideally, something else that is much more expensive. And because they know you now, and they have some access to you, and they've seen what you can do, they already bought your initial product, they're getting much more contact from you. Now the odds are pretty good they will buy the next product. And that's called back end. That's called a back end sale. Why are back end sales so important? Because, number one, they require near zero marketing costs. It is very expensive and very time consuming to get a new customer. Getting a brand new customer, excuse me, is extraordinarily expensive, extraordinarily time consuming, but getting someone who's already bought from you to buy one more thing is really easy. Now, will all customers buy a second thing from you? No, most will not. Only a percentage will. But if you're selling something that is high margin and more expensive than your first item, you don't need a lot of those people in terms of a percentage to make a lot of money, to certainly get to $85,000 a year, location independent, which is what I teach here at Sovereign CEO. Or if you want the big money, get to 6 figures or 7 figures. It's not that tough. So that's the number one best thing about back-end sales, is that they're almost free. Not quite free, but they're almost free. Whereas getting new customers, that's expensive and difficult. Number one. Number two, often, usually, especially if you're structuring your business correctly, you do the product funnel like I've talked about in my business topics. The second sale is at a higher price point, often a much higher price point than the first sale. So you're making a lot more money on the back end than you are on the front end. So the smartest business owners who have location-dependent companies make the majority of their money on the back end. That would include me. The majority, well more than 50% of the money my online companies makes is on the back end. It is not on the first thing you buy, because in most cases, the first thing you're going to buy is my book, The Unchained Man. The current version, which I'm now rewriting and updating, is $7. Am I going to make a 7-figure income selling something that is $7? I am not. I have lots of other services, anywhere from products, information products and services and events that go anywhere from $67, I have a lot of things, all the way up to the highest ticket thing I sell is around $23,000. We're about to introduce a thing that is $35,000. Now, am I going to go online and run ads and try to get strangers to buy my $30,000 high-end product? I am not. That'd be a waste of my time. But I could certainly get them to buy a $7 item or a $127 item or a $97 item. Then I communicate with them, and then they buy the second larger items. And they don't have to buy one at $23,000. I have ones at $5,000, $7,000, $12,000. I have an entire large product line. I do what I recommend. When you start a new business, you should have a large product line of products. You don't just sell one thing unless you're already making 7-figure income. That's different. That's Grant Cardone advice. If you're starting from zero, you want a large product line of different price points, products, and services for your clients. Now, what is the best way to get someone to make a back-end sale? The number one best way is not the way that you think. And I've talked about many times and given you many examples of people who have millions of Instagram followers, millions of YouTube followers, millions of whatever, people on hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter, and they don't make shit for money. And I've talked about how there are other people like me who have a tiny amount, a comparatively tiny amount of social media followers, YouTube followers, Instagram followers, who are making $500,000 a year, $700,000 a year, $1 million a year, $2 million a year, $3 million a year, on like 2,000 YouTube subscribers, 1,000, 10,000 YouTube subscribers, 12,000 Instagram subscribers. How are these guys making this money when no one gives a shit about their social media? Because the number one way to make back-end sales is something that you don't see, and that is your mailing list. Your mailing list is a list of emails of people who have opted into your list because they wanted your material, they voluntarily opted in, and or people who have purchased your products in the past. Someone on your mailing list, one name on your mailing list, is worth far more money per month in income to you than any YouTube follower, Instagram follower, Twitter follower, TikTok subscriber. I'm not saying these people are worth less, but as compared to someone on your mailing list, it's damn near. It's like 5x, 7x, 10x, 20x, 30x to 1. The most important number in terms of the number of followers in your online location-dependent business is the number of people in your mailing list. I have a mailing list of thousands of people, and my mailing list makes me 5 and 6 figures per month, every month, by me just pressing send on a few emails. How much money does it cost me to press send on a few emails? Not much. I got to write the emails or pay someone to write the emails. How much does that cost as compared to like running thousands of dollars in YouTube ads? Not much. So your number one objective is to build your mailing list, not necessarily get fucking YouTube subscribers or Instagram subscribers or what have you. You build a mailing list of even 5,000 people. That's a lot of money per month. Now, back in the olden days, in the 90s, pre-internet, guys like Dan Kennedy would talk about once you have a mailing list, this would be a physical mailing list of people you would do direct mail to, because this is before email and stuff like that. He would say, and he was right at the time, that a properly managed mailing list, you can guarantee an income of 10 cents to $1 per name on that list, which was pretty good. So if you had a mailing list of 10,000 people, you could pretty much guarantee an income just from that list, back-end sales, of $1,000 to $10,000 per month for the rest of your life. As long as you cultivated that list and properly manage it, that's pretty damn good. Today, those numbers aren't even fucking close. Not even close. In many months, it is typical for me to make 4x. So 400%, 500%, 600%. So let's say, let me say it a different way. Instead of 10 cents to $1 per name on my list, I've made $4 a name on my list, $5, $6. There was one month I believe I made $7 per name on my list. That's a lot of money because I have a pretty big list. That's how this works. Your mailing list is what you want to build and to cultivate. That is your number one most important asset. And what's funny is that's the asset nobody sees. No one sees. How many people do I have on my mailing list? You don't know, do you? You don't see it anywhere. You can look on my YouTube channel. I have 2 of them. See how many followers I have on there. You can go to my Instagram. You can go. I have several TikTok. Take a look at those. Look at those numbers. But those numbers don't mean shit. What means a lot is the mailing list number. That's the number you want. And the beauty is you don't need that many people in it. A few thousand is good. 5,000 is great. And I have many multiples of 5,000 on my list. But the bigger the list, the better you get. So how do you do this? Number one, you need to make sure that people are opting in this list. You need to have a squeeze page somewhere that gives someone something of value, a training video, a little course, whatever. I have an entire 8-9 video course that I give away. It's a business course, the Business Builder Challenge. If you're on my mailing list, a lot of you are, you've seen me give out that course. It's a free course. It took me a lot of time to develop that. It's free. Why did I do that? Because that's how I get people on my list from my YouTube ads. Pretty awesome. Okay? So you give them something that is awesome to opt into your list. Then once they're on their list, you give them regular content that is good. And you follow the model that I've been following for 15 years. Gary Vee once talked about this 4 or 5 years ago. Content, 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 sell. Content, 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 sell. I give you content on my list that I don't give you anywhere else. I have 2 newsletters on my list that I don't publish anywhere else except on my mailing list. So if you're not on my mailing list, you don't get those. Okay? I have other little videos I put on there sometimes. And then every once in a while I sell you on something. And if you don't like it, you could just bypass it. Now, does everyone on your list buy? No, the vast majority of people will not buy. The vast majority of people on your list won't even open your emails. That's okay. An open rate to your warm email list of more than 20% is good. 18, 19, 20% is good. 25% is great. So if you send out an email, only 17% read it, and you've got thousands of people, that's great. So they're saying, oh my God, only 17. That's good. That's enough money to make you a lot of money, 5 figures at least per month for the rest of your life. That is the biggest asset in your business, is your mailing list. You need to create it. You need to build it. You need to cultivate it and treat it nicely because that's the more important asset than, I don't care how many fucking Instagram followers you have or want, or YouTube followers, that it pales in comparison in terms of your real income to your mailing list.